I'm Melissa.
Hi, I'm Greg, and today we're going to talk about how to prepare for long distance hiking.
Yeah, what we do to get ready in both the hiking season and on the off season too.
For the best chance of success for a long distance hike, if you're starting here and you want to get here, actually in any hike, it doesn't even have to be long distance, you need to do certain things along the way to get ready.
That's right.
For a hike. And so the very first few things you should do is actually train.
Right. So you have to think about, one, what's the length of the trail that you're going to use to train on?
Yeah, so we have a trail, but we will train on that throughout our off season or even during our regular season just to get ready for hikes.
Yeah, exactly. And also too, something to think about when it comes to the trail that you're picking to train on. Think about the difficulty. So obviously you probably want to start with something a little bit on the easier side, might be a little bit more flat, not as much elevation, but something that's going to be actually doable.
So for us, we have like referring to the trail that we're talking about, there's not a lot of elevation for it. It's a relatively easy trail, but the important thing here is there's a couple things that are going on. One is you need to condition your body to be able to carry a load.
Right.
And so that sort of leads into our next thing is you should probably have a weighted pack.
Definitely.
But if you can't have a weighted pack, you still at least need to walk a trail before you can have the weighted pack.
Right. Yeah, and with the weighted pack, we're usually preparing for overnight hikes, right? So for longer distances, so we need to be able to carry more weight, and we are always trying to work up to a little bit more than we'd actually need to carry on an overnight hike, so we can handle it while we're doing the hike.
So the question is how do you get there, right? So I mean, if we think back here where we're starting off to hike and we want to do an overnight hike, you need to be able to carry all of your equipment. You need to know what that weighs, so you actually have to measure it out.
Right.
I know for myself, I probably carry without food less than 20 pounds. You're probably lighter than that.
Yeah.
I would actually carry just a regular backpack that somebody would take to work, and I put 10 pounds of rice into my backpack. You can take potatoes if you have access to them. You can take weights if you want. It'll probably be hard on your back if you take weights. Rice sort of conforms to your back, so we'd recommend that.
Right.
But if you're going to probably carry a load of 20 to 25 pounds, you need to carry heavier than that over distances.
Right. And so what we try to aim for is about 20% of our body weight.
So you would carry roughly?
I carry about 25 pounds, so I have 2 10-pound bags of rice in my backpack, and then I also stick in a magic bag to get that extra bit of weight.
And so for myself, I carry 3 30-pound bags in my hiking backpack. My other backpack couldn't hold 30 pounds. It actually broke the straps. It was just too much weight, but my hiking backpack can take it, so I carry that. My backpack itself weighs about 3.5 pounds, so I'm carrying around 34 pounds roughly. But that's important because if I can carry it here and I can carry it training, that means when we go in for the overnight hike, I'm going to be carrying less. It's just longer distances. So if I can carry a heavier weight for shorter distances, I should be able to carry less weight for a longer distance.
That's right. And another thing that we do to try to build up those muscles for the longer distances is we don't use trekking poles when we're training, because just so we're not relying on those. We do usually take them when we're doing overnight hikes because it's a longer distance, harder terrain, but when we're training we don't use them.
So that's a very good point. If you try to think of giving yourself the best shot for success, that's why you take gear, right? There's gear that will help you out, whether it's trekking poles, whether it's knee sleeves, whether it's whatever you need to get you to help you out. But when you're training, you actually want to try to make it more difficult. And there are ways to do that. So heavier backpacks, that can do it. Longer trails, that can do it. Trails with more elevation can do it. Also, wearing shoes like zero sole shoes. So zero sole shoes are basically like a sock with a little sole on it. But the idea there is it works your ankle. It really, it's almost like you're walking barefoot in the woods. But that's another method to train, so that when you actually go and train, for the overnight hike, you're wearing your Hokas or your whatever you have, but whatever shoe you're going to wear the day for your training, you almost want to train with a heavier shoe if possible, or a flatter shoe, just to make sure you're working your ankles and your legs and knees.
Right.
The other thing that we didn't talk about too is when you carry a heavier backpack, you may think, oh, I'm just going to have to carry it It's just going to rest on my hips and doesn't affect me. You feel it.
Oh,
So when we're training
yeah.
out front, in our home or in front of our home on the trail, I'll feel the weight of my hips, especially my hip sockets. Feel at my knees, and I'll feel at my ankles.
Right.
Most like our backpacks, most of the load is carried on the hips rather than on the shoulder. I don't like to have the weight carried on the shoulder, but mostly hips. I can really feel it, and it does take conditioning to get used to it.
It does.
You'll strengthen your hips, you'll strengthen your knees, you'll strengthen your legs. If you don't do that, it will be very, very painful
Yes, it will.
when you go to do it the day of, and you'll not have you'll probably still be successful, but it'll hurt. Like
Yeah.
why not train a little bit in advance? Have a hike with good company and
Right.
practice along the way, rather than just go do it without any training at all.
Right, because you want to, to enjoy your hike, right? You don't want it to be painful. You want to be enjoying the views and the company and where you're going. So if you can make it as enjoyable as possible, why not?
Why not?
Right? The other thing that we didn't really talk about was consistency, right? You need to do it on a consistent basis if you want to work up to that, whatever your goal is for your hiking.
So consistency is a good one. So here's what I would say is, like, when you go, we'll just say your overnight hike, and we'll just say you have to do, we'll just say a long day of hiking.
Right.
You can build that up throughout the week. Like, so as you're preparing, and you probably don't want to build it up just the week before, but as you prepare for a hike, we'll just say the week before, but like the time before, you can start putting in the miles with a heavy weighted backpack and whatever gear you want to use, so that when you go there, like, you've just basically conditioned your body so you're 100% ready. Your heart rate's probably still spiked.
Right.
Carrying a bag is heavy. Your heart rate is up if you have a heart rate monitor, which I do. But at least if you put the time in, put the effort in, put the repetition in, it doesn't need to be like, I don't think people need to go crazy. Like, I think if you did, we'll say, like, you knew backpacking season was coming up, you knew you were going to start to do overnight hiking. I mean, I would think you'd want to at least prepare a couple weeks before.
Oh, definitely.
At least.
Yeah.
But like, really, like, hiking's part of our life, so we go hiking all the time. Like, the question we always have is, should we take a pack or not, right?
Right.
Like, hey, I want to go out and I want to go for a walk. Should I take the pack? The answer is usually yes.
Yeah.
Because we want to put the miles in and condition our body so that when we go out,
Right.
when the season starts, that we feel good.
Right, and we're also conditioning in the off season too, right? We do CrossFit to try to stay strong on the off season, and we do it during the on season too.
So CrossFit's one of those things, I don't think any hiking videos really talk about it, but for us, it's more of a community, and a lot of the CrossFit people will, they all hike too, right?
Right.
But the idea there is that on off season, so we have tough winters in Canada where we're from, but on the off season, actually we do it all season, but we're doing squats, we're doing all those things that would engage your knees, your lower legs, box jumps, all those things. Like, we are working our legs all the time, and to me, it just adds to your hiking experience.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can go hiking and it's easier, why wouldn't you do that?
Exactly.
And we enjoy working out, so why not work out too?
Right, and there's other things. You don't have to do CrossFit. There can be other ways that you can train in the off season.
Yeah, gyms. Like, if you're gonna, you have to move. That's
Right.
the key thing, is moving. If you can hike and ice is not an issue, like it is for us, ice, bad weather, cold winds, like it can be harsh in Canada where we live. But at the same time, we've had years here where we could hike in the winter, and there is no ice and there is no snow, but we were still putting on the miles by consistently walking. Usually in the winter, I don't do a lot. I'll say once a week maybe.
Yeah.
But as spring's starting to roll around, like it's rolling around now,
Right.
we start getting out a lot more. And today is beautiful weather.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. One last thing too, I don't know if we mentioned, but when you're picking a trail for training, you want to try to choose something that's close to where you live, right? Just because it's going to make it easier for you to get out, and you're more likely to go on that trail.
So on that note, we will take you
That's right.
on our trail out with us. We'll leave here. We'll go. For us, we got to head down to the river. So there's a river, and we'll go down. We'll hit the trail. Maybe we'll get a few nice shots, and
Yeah, we'll see you down there.
Yeah, we'll see you down there.
We're now on the trail.
Gotta hear a lot of the road
I'm
noise.
starting to warm up, so
Coming off.
yeah, hat is coming off. If I take a look at my heart rate, 106 for me, which I would say means I'm working, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this isn't easy for me. So I've got 35 pounds on my back. I know there's been a big push for ultralight backpacks, ones without hip belts. I don't think I have any interest in doing
No,
that.
I
Like,
don't.
to me, like my shoulders, I don't want the weight to ride there. I like it on my hips. Feels comfortable, feels natural. The other thing is like right where the weight is, like that's where the center of balance is. I wouldn't want the balance to be up on my shoulders or high.
No.
It would just really throw me off.
Plus, then you'll have sore shoulders the whole time potentially.
Plus you have sore shoulders, which I don't want.
No.
I don't want sore shoulders. So one thing I didn't do today, and I should have done, I should have worn my zero sole shoes. I don't know why I didn't. We had talked about it
Yeah.
on our hike. I can tell immediately wearing my nice hiking shoes that I don't have any ankle pain.
Right, that's a good thing though.
It is good, but I want to toughen my ankle up.
This is true, yeah.
With just a little bit of pain. Not a lot of pain, just a little bit. And it's not pain in a way that hurts me. Pain that's good for me. Just
Right.
just enough pressure and enough force. Not that it's debilitating, but just that I know I'm working a muscle or working tendons or whatnot. And so I should have worn my zero sole shoes, and I didn't today. But I can, like my ankles feel good.
Yeah.
But if I want to make it harder, I should be wearing them, and I generally do wear them.
Right.
So we're at the end of the trail. You can quite literally see the gate behind us. That's somebody else's property, so we're not going to go over there. But what you can see behind us is we're in springtime New Brunswick, and what's going on here is we have a spring freshet, and so what that means is the water that's up on the northern part of our province, or some people might know states, but up on the northern part of where we live, it all runs downhill,
Right.
down into a big river. This is the St. John River behind us, and it's from really the winter melting. All the ice, snow is melting off, and it floods. And you can see the flooding wasn't that bad this year behind us. You can see
the grass.
you can see in the grass there's some like leaf lines. So it wasn't so bad, but we've had years
Yeah.
where all of this was flooded.
Like right up to that black garage one year was flooded.
Yeah, so right up to that black garage, which means that like we would almost be flooded right here. There would be water actually all around us. But right now, looks like the water's receding and it's safe to, the water's safe and there's no issue of flooding. So anyway, let's head back. Let's
It's a
head
good
back
way
home.
to start the spring.
Yes. So we live on East Coast Canada. It really is a beautiful spot. So I mean, behind us you'll see a huge body of water. That's the St. John River. We're in Grand Bay-Westfield. Across the way over there is Kingston Peninsula. But I mean, there's everything around here. There's mountains, there's water, there's train tracks. But it's beautiful. There's almost everything we could ask for. The one thing I don't think we have is desert.
Nope.
That I'm
Not that
aware
I know
of.
of.
Not that I know of. But we have a lot of great sites.
Yeah. This will be full of boats here in not that long.
Exactly. And just a great place to live.
It is.
So we're about, I'd say, 3/4 done. I am sweating.
Yeah.
I mean, I took my hat off. I've got my pit zips zip down.
Yeah.
I could zip a little more, not drastically more, but a little more. So if I wanted to do the next thing, it would be to take this jacket off. But unfortunately, I actually think it's too cold to hike without a jacket. So normally when we go hiking, we'll have an outer shell, which I'm wearing. Melissa's wearing a puffy right now. But I will say, Melissa's wearing a down puffy.
I am.
And
I love this.
but she's going to have to invest in a synthetic puffy.
If you have suggestions, let me know. Comments below.
There we go. So we are back where we started. I'm not particularly tired. I mean,
No.
I think we had a good hike.
Yeah, we definitely did.
It was a beautiful day. It's a little more overcast than when we first went out, but
20 minutes?
20 minutes of hiking in. My knees feel good. My hips feel good.
Yeah, me too.
My feet feel good. When we started doing this again about a month ago, I can't say the same
No,
thing.
not at
My
all.
knees felt bad. My hips
Yeah.
felt bad. My feet felt bad, or my ankles did. But so if we keep, which we will keep doing
Yeah.
this, the idea again is very simple. You need to condition your body for
Right.
the longer term goals of hiking that you want, and it's really just about repetition and putting the time in.
That's right. And the weight in your back.
And the weight in your pack, and making training a little harder than you would go normally.
Yep.
And so the idea is if you can carry a heavier weight for shorter distances, you should be able to carry less weight for longer distances.
Exactly.
It's still going to be challenging.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you'll be able to do it and be successful doing it.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. Just get out there and get hiking.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you
See
next
ya.
time.